კიდევ ერთხელ მოგესალმებით და დღევანდელი ჩვენი სტუმარი არის სემი. Hi Semi.
Hi Levan.
Thanks for being here. ბოდის მოგიხდით, იმიტომ რომ ახლა ტექნიკურად არა ვართ მზად იმისათვის, რომ სინქრონული თარგმანი გავაკეთოთ. და ნუ ვისაც ინგლისურად არ შეგიძლიათ რომ მოისმინოთ, თუ არა და თუ შეგიძლიათ მოისმინოთ, დამიჯერეთ რომ ძალიან საინტერესო სტუმარი მყავს. კი. ძალიან საინტერესო სტუმარი ყავს სემი კოენი, რომელიც საქართველოში ატარებს ხოლმე სემინარებს და სხვადასხვა შორის ცენტრალური თემა ეგო და საკუთარი თავი და როგორ არის სწორი დაალაგება. მოკლედ ბავშვური ტრავმა, აქ ბევრი რაღაცა თემებზე, რაზედაც ვილაპარაკეთ, სემი პროფესიონალია ამ საქმეს რა და ბევრი წელია უკვე ამას აკეთებს და საქართველოში არაერთ ადამიანთან ქონდა ასე ვთქვათ სემინარი ჩატარებული, მაგრამ თუ ინგლისური გესმით დარჩით და თუ ვისაც იცნობთ რომ ინგლისური გესმით, იმასაც გაუზიარეთ, იმიტომ რომ ისეთი საინტერესო პერსპექტივა აქვს ამ ადამიანს, რომ ყველასთვის სასარგებლოა და დაგვეხმარება. ეხლა დაუბრუნდები და ინგლისურზე გადავალ, მაპატიეთ და მე დაიდება ვერსია, სადაც სინქრონული თარგმანი იქნება და თუ ეხლა არ შეგიძლიათ, მე ქართულ ვერსიასაც ნახავთ. საერთოდ ჩვენი ყველა ვიდეოები იდება YouTube-ის არხზე. YouTube-ის არხი არის პოდკასტჰაბის არხი და ნელ-ნელა ჩვენ შემდეგი რაღაცა 6-8 კვირის განმავლობაში სრულად გადავერთვებით YouTube-ზე და Facebook-ზე სტრიმები აღარ გვექნება. ამას ეხავ, მაგრამ ვიდეოები, რომლებიც დაიდება YouTube-ის არხზე დაიდება და გირჩევთ, რომ ნახოთ ხოლმე, გამოიწეროთ ჩვენი არხი და Semi. Hi. I just introduced you in a way. I apologize that
it's okay.
We have to speak in English and so on. Now, my question is, my situation is, and you have been a lot of help for me, okay? And I think what you teach or how the approach that you give to participants of your seminar and in Georgia as well is very important. I think human being can do more and can develop endlessly, but your introduction to that journey is great. Now, it also coincides with the topic of my weekend. So you're in a museum, right? And I choose a topic for the weekend and I discussed. In the beginning, first weekend, I talked about what it means to obey, because I didn't obey, I had to transform the museum into a TV show, and here I am. Museum is open as an old museum. Now it's a TV show. So that was my impulse, and so it's over now. It's yesterday. Now this weekend, I started to think about egoism and altruism. Okay, and mainly I started to think about it because it seems that these two words they connote. They mean something that they might not mean. I mean, people see these two words differently, and then there is a confusion. A lot of evil, like for example, I know you're not happy with the lockdowns as well. So it's like for the sake of others, now we are locked, right? But for the sake of others, it's considered to be altruism, and altruism is cherished. But usually everything that is for the sake of something turns into evil, like violence and obeyment and power and stuff like that. And that always happens in the name of something. On the other aspect is egoism, right? And there is also this confusion. Egoism is maybe confused with when I do something so much for myself that I'm violent to somebody else, and so on. So what's your take on this world? Because you talk about ego a lot, and there is the specific understanding. But why do we humans do what we do? Do we do it for others, or should we do it for others, or for ourselves?
Thank you for your question. I came here with a friend, Eka, and yesterday she told me that I should write the story of the croissant.
Of what?
The croissant.
Croissant.
In the semi, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember.
But before I start, thank you for having said that I helped you, but you helped me a lot.
Oh.
So really, it is not a one-way street.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And
thank you for that.
So I wanted this to be clear. You have been coaching me to write. You have been coaching me for ideas. You really fantastic.
Thank you.
This being said, I come back to your question.
Yes.
So I was sharing that I wanted to talk about the story of the croissant. And if I wanted to talk about the story of the croissant, it's because inside each one of us, it's like if there were two people. One that is loving, happy, altruist, not egoist. And the other one is afraid, fearful, worried, in duty, I have to, and life is hard, and I am tired. And this one is me, me, me. And this one, even when he's altruistic, like he gives money for charity, he gives money for charity to feel that he is a good person. So it's again about me. So it's not real altruism. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a small story because.
Yeah.
Okay. So, because the big difference between these two people is that one is creating his life out of what he wants, and the other one is at the mercy of event. My boss did this to me, my wife did this to me, I have to take the children to school, and life is difficult, and my car broke, and I don't have enough money, and when shall I go in I am a victim. And I remember when I was in that state, even going to see friends I love, it was like I had to. Or see my parents once a week. I'm a good son, I have to see my parents. Okay. So I have a small story to understand the difference of state between when I am the one that is giving, let's say altruist, but I don't like the word altruist because it can be perverted.
Yes.
And when I am a victim, because I can be altruist and be a victim.
I can be altruist and be a victim.
Yeah, because I do it because it's the right thing to do. What's the right thing to do?
Or it's also a law.
Oh, it's a law. Absolutely.
Or it's my moral belief that I have to be altruist.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am victim of my moral beliefs.
Okay.
Okay, so how to know when we are creating our life and how to know when we are a victim. And I have this small story that Eka told me to write. And in the beginning I thought, who would be interested?
Yeah, I think.
But
let's try.
Okay, let's go. So, you have, the story is like this. It takes place in Paris. I am French, you can hear it, I cannot hide it. Let's say I am on a diet, and my diet does not allow me to eat croissant. Okay? When I take a decision like this, I feel strong. I go down the stairs. I walk in Paris. It is spring. My lungs are full of fresh air. I start walking. And I don't know if you know, but in Paris, every corner, there is a pastry shop. So I walk and I am attacked by a strong smell. How would I feel?
I want croissant.
Yeah, salivating and moving, but I am just on a diet. So of course I feel a victim of my decision, a victim of pastry shops, a victim of croissant, a victim of life. I see people who eat, they never get fat. at the victim. Okay. So let's continue the story. I get to the pastry shop. I enter the pastry shop. I have two choices. Either I eat the croissant or I don't. Let's say I eat the croissant. So I take the croissant and how do I feel? How do I feel?
I'm guilty.
It's a French croissant, it's good.
But then I feel guilty because...
Then I feel guilty, but in the beginning.
I feel pleasure.
Pleasure. It's not Italian or British croissant. Okay, so pleasure.
It's a great croissant, but
yes.
then I say...
Then I feel guilt. Okay, so pleasure, guilt, I am a victim. Okay?
So first I was a victim because I wanted croissant and I cannot eat.
Yes.
Now I eat and I am still victim.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we agree?
Yes.
Okay. So the big understanding that can change one's life is what follows. What we are going to see now.
Yeah.
Okay? Because in my understanding, before meeting Leo, okay, is I take the croissant, I look at the croissant, eyes in the eyes, and I tell the croissant, you will not get me. And I was thinking that this was creating my life.
Yeah. You're not going to beat me, right?
Yeah.
That was before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it seems like a very logical thing to do.
Exactly. I feel strong, proud. Not like these people who eat the croissant, the weak people. I am strong, okay? I am a winner.
I keep my diet.
Yes.
And I walk past the croissant.
Yeah. But in fact, I am still at the mercy.
I'm still victim.
I am still victim. If you enter in the heart of the croissant does not care. The croissant.
You look eye to eye.
Yes, I care. I am fighting. I am, in a different way, victim of the croissant. And this has, thanks to Leo, it has changed my life.
But how? You want to tell us?
Yes. But it's important to know that I eat the croissant or I don't eat the croissant, I can be a victim.
Yeah.
So it's not because I do big things and small things and I am altruistic and I am giving that I am not a victim.
Ah, okay. I still can be a victim.
Absolutely.
If I'm altruist, I can, or egoist, does not even matter. It's what matters if I'm victim of being egoism or am I victim of being altruism.
Exactly.
I like that.
And this is very important because you go at work. Oh, my boss told me to do this. I have to do. In the beginning, I have to work. Okay? How many people feel they have to work?
Most.
Yeah, I was in that case too. Don't think I am any different. Okay? Before knowing Leo, I was going at work as a victim. So do you think I was inspired? No. I was doing my job, I was enjoying my job, I had fun at my job, but the inspiration, the inspiration that, I don't know how to express it, but this inspiration that connects you to the cosmos cannot be, because I am a victim.
Yeah.
Okay?
You cannot be connected to that as a victim. You cannot be, when you say, I beat you, it's like, I'm powerful, but I'm victim. Okay.
Exactly.
Even when I'm most powerful, I'm still victim. I can be victim.
I can. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a concept that can change.
But how can I not be victim?
So we all had moments in which we were not a victim. We all had moments in which we stopped smoking and it was not a fight. Or we went on a diet and it was clear. Let me tell you how I stopped smoking. So 1982, my wife Claire gets diagnosis, melanoma in the eye, a few months to live. We have seen several doctors. One of them say, you should stop smoking. I look at her, I say, will you stop? She said, I have to. Okay? I cannot eat the croissant, I have to. Okay, exactly. I have to. Inside myself, I thought, if she stops and I don't stop, it's going to be a nightmare for her. So, as a gift to her, I decided to stop smoking. Mm-hmm. So you can see the difference of experience she went through, her having to stop.
She was like a croissant, I have to stop.
Yeah, it
and
was
you were
a fight.
free from it.
And I was totally free from it. It was a gift. I was doing what I wanted to do. Yeah. I didn't have to decide that. I could have decided to stop as a victim, because how can I let
if I want to stop smoking, like I don't have to be in that case, right? Like, how does that translate into my real life? Like, do I have, yeah?
In real life, you have to take a moment before doing things.
Before doing things?
Yeah, you take a moment, and the first step is to allow yourself to not do it.
Anything?
Yeah. I'm going to give you another example, just I finish. Once you allow yourself to not do it, you ask yourself, do I want to do it? Because if I don't do it, there are consequences. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you do it sincerely, really sincerely, you start learning, because there is a learning process. You start learning to create the life you want. Let me give you another example. We had this participant, a surgeon. He was going to bed early, and his wife would come later, and once she's in the bed, she asks him to switch off the light. So he has to get up and go switch off the light, and it was pissing him off. Mm-hmm. And we had exactly the conversation we are having here. I said, the only way to not be a victim, one is to allow you to not switch off the light.
Allow yourself not to switch, yeah.
Allow yourself to not switch. And then you see if you want to do it as a gift to your wife or not.
Mm-hmm. So the instrument is that first stop, and then realize that if you want to do it, then you do it. If the reason you were doing it was because you didn't have an option to do it, then you are
automatically a victim. I met him 1 month later on the parking of the hospital. I was going to see the director of the hospital. I met him, and he told me, you know, every night I think about you. And every night I go switch off the light in joy.
Yes.
In joy. So it's not what we do, it's which state we are in when we do it. Okay. Am I a victim, or am I the creator of my life? Yeah. And we are huge creators. We can create so many things. We just accept that we can create and learn. Learn, because at school we are not taught to create our life. It's the opposite. At school we are taught to be victims. Then we go to work, we are taught to be victims. And it's a big mistake from the companies, because when we learn to create the life, the company grows like it's just growing.
Okay, this is what I understood. As I said, this is my 2-day journey to get to an answer. Should I do it for, I called it in Georgian like together or for something. So together or for something, which is for something could also be considered as together. So let me explain. What I heard from you, I translate it into my language, and this is how it sounds. And tell me if I'm wrong, okay?
How can you be wrong?
I can't. For me, it sounds like this. If my question is, should I do it for myself or should I do it for somebody else? Your whole story of croissant answers me that, I mean, the idea that not to be a victim, even it's not about egoism, altruism, but the idea of not to be a victim is actually the key. I cannot, because what I call not altruism, okay, not altruism is when I'm not a victim. And it's great. Many people, for example, I had a guest today, we were talking about, like, for example, I don't want to get you into that. I'll quickly move to it, but I'm just translating into my understanding. So let's say, I was telling him, there is an old lady in his neighborhood, right? Just random lady, and you walk out every day, and you know that you paid your taxes, and the government has the obligation now to take care of pension or whatever of this, and you walk out in your apartment, and you're not thinking about her. But you are forced, like the guy, to stand up and switch off the light. Even if there is moral and here is the legal obligation, we cannot allow ourselves first not to care about old people, for example, and young people and all the people in trouble. And then if we allow ourselves to be absolutely free from caring about anybody else, and then still want to do it, this is when I'm not a victim of
absolutely.
It, right?
Absolutely.
And if there is a law to force me, it's like stupid. Yeah.
And
I didn't translate it to my taste, right?
No.
It's correct.
No. Let me go in a little more in that direction,
okay.
Because if we just stay with the mind, we can lose ourselves. Okay. Mm-hmm. I started by saying it is like there are two people inside ourselves.
Two people.
One that is generous, that is in love, that is happy, joyful, and one that is in duty. I have to, and yeah, and the one, and you have similar emotions in each one. Okay.
I think I'm getting it. Yeah.
No.
So
okay.
If there is no I'm duty, then there is I'm generous. There is no middle.
It's automatic.
It's automatic.
It's our nature. When you see children, 2 years old, okay? So they grab, this is my toy, okay? If you start crying, you will see the 2-year, he will give it to you. Most of psychological studies show that our nature inside, outside of what we need to prove that we are good, is generous. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I trust that when we are in contact and when we experience that person, the generosity happens by itself.
Would it be good? So, would this be a good example? I gave this on TV lately, and so I'm going to repeat it here. I like this example. So, if someone asks you how to be real altruist or real generous, because altruist means a very bad thing. It means that to love somebody else more than yourself. It's like already putting yourself in victim. That's a definition. Yeah. That's a definition of it. But it's so cherished, this word. But if you want to be really generous, compassionate, how do you love? If you ask the question, how do you love? How do you, I compare it to like a question, how do you lower your hand? And you start saying, you lower your hand by ordering your mind and then using your muscles, but actually there is no action of having hand up. If you turn off the hand down, if you turn off the action of having hand up, it goes automatically down. There is no, you don't need to do anything to keep your hand down. So that's what you say. If you're not a victim, then you give, right?
It's our nature.
How can we be sure about that? Like, other than Semi telling me, it feels like right, but yeah. How can we be sure about that our nature is, our hand down is you give? Like, how do you know that?
Okay.
Leo, who's Leo?
Leo has been my big mentor, really. I owe him so much. Okay, so first, you should not believe anything I say. Mm-hmm. I offer experiments. You are tempted to try, we try. It works, it works. It does not work. It doesn't work. It's okay, you just discard.
Okay, but why you believe it?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I was going to answer that way, but it's good that you asked it precisely. Okay. When I first met Leo, it was because my wife got sick. So I was looking for a solution.
So Leo is your mentor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he has been very helpful.
Okay, so you met your mentor Leo.
And
if that happened when your wife got sick? Okay.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. There was no medicine to help her. So we had to look inside if something could help. And when you're told you're going to die, you are full of anxieties. Then you meet people who tell you, if you stress,
it's worse.
Yeah. So not only you're going to die and you are anxious, but then you feel guilty because you are anxious. So the first step was to work on these fears, anxieties that we all have. Okay? And the more you work on them, the more a space opens. And I don't know how to explain it, but each time I let go things I was afraid or I was doing out of duty, there is a space that is wider inside.
Wider?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. More joyful, more light. We made some interviews to people who took the seminars. And what came the most was I knew myself better and my life got simpler and lighter. So it is the same life, same husband, same wife, same job.
But no more obligation to switch off the lights, right?
But a choice and a decision, and of course there were still a lot of things I have to. But the fact to know that any one of them I am at choice. Any one of them. So even if I do it as a victim, I am less a victim when I know that I am a victim than when I don't know.
Even if I have to stay in a victim's position because of something, it's less victim if you, at least you're not a victim of not knowing.
Okay? Because a victim that does not know is just crushed. Someone who knows, accept, okay, maybe today I do it as a victim, but anytime I can work it and do it as a creator.
Yeah.
Anytime. I am at choice any moment of my life. And this is fantastic.
But like, what if...
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Even now, we have a choice. Yeah, I have to look good because I am thin, okay? Or I just enjoy.
You enjoy? Oh,
I do.
I do.
Thank
I
you.
always enjoy talking with you. Because what I enjoy in every conversation, and I had great guests, and everywhere I learned something, but you have this high bandwidth of like discoveries. You talk about things, and then, oh yeah, like if I fight this, and then how I wouldn't never. I knew this. I knew the croissant story. It's not new to me. I mean, maybe for somebody it's new, but I just connected it with the topic. It's like my question is answered. I don't. It's not even about egoism or altruism. In both cases, there is a victim. But I still call it like for myself. I cannot be a victim. If I, that's what I. Yeah, that's so great. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and it's two different lives with different laws.
Laws?
Yeah, law.
Yeah.
If Claire did 17 years instead of a few months,
was because of that.
I believe so. The laws, all the laws are different.
You mean even the metaphysics, bigger laws?
Metaphysics, I don't know. But inside...
But she had to die and didn't die.
Yeah. Well, have you seen people living in joy, having a very serious sickness?
So would you say that even a person in joy now would have less chance to be infected with corona? Could it be that much?
I believe so.
Really?
Because we are all infected with so many things. Inside ourselves we have cancer cells, we have AIDS virus, we have all kinds, but our immune system is fighting it. Okay? If we are stressed, tired, we feel alone, our immune system gets down and we are more prone to get sick.
But is this difference, could this difference be so great that in one case it protects you from the virus and then in another it doesn't?
Well, I am not a physician and I don't know coronavirus and I don't want to be put in the complotist box that I may be.
But I'm not talking about corona. But there is a strength in immune, right?
Yeah, but I can speak for other diseases. Okay, and we worked about 10 years with Dr. Carl Simonton, an American. He wrote a fantastic book. Most of people in cancer look for the disease, what's wrong about the disease, how to know. He did something totally different. His wife was a psychologist. And he was surprised because sometimes he would see someone not so sick. He was a radiotherapist, so he was treating people with radiation. But sometimes people were not that sick and they would deteriorate and die. And other people had very serious disease and get well. Mm-hmm. He wanted to understand better about these people who were getting well against all odds. Mm-hmm. So he went to interview them. Mm-hmm. And he wrote a beautiful book. And he built a methodology about cancer, what to do. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to give you some elements from the book. But in the book, he interviewed, for instance, a woman that told him, yeah, I got a terminal illness, I had cancer, but I could not die. My two girls were 12 and 13. I could not just let them
be alone
and die. It seems ridiculous. But I really think that this helped her survive. He gave another example. A woman goes see the doctor and the doctor said, I'm sorry to tell you, but the prognosis is very short, a few months. Is there something you always wanted to do? And she said, I always wanted to go on a cruise, but I didn't have so much money, so I never did it. He said, look, sell everything you have. It's your last chance. So she did, and she went on a cruise. And she stayed on the boat 3 months of cruise. She came back totally cured. She went to the doctor and said, you know, I am now in deep shit, I don't have money.
But
the disease...
The joy of the last time,
the joy of being on the cruise, doing what she wanted, and she let go of the fear of dying, she let go of all that. She was in cruise.
So it's not even like you have to know about this strategy to work.
No.
It's like if you are in joy and happy, even if you don't know that that's the reason why you're doing it, it's going to help.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a good person either. One of the first patients with whom he worked on these topics was a chief of mafia. And he got cured.
Because he went into joy.
Because he can be chief of mafia and still be a victim.
You can be chief of mafia and be victim.
Yeah. Because you have to, and you have stress, someone is going to kill you, and
this is the most important thing that you teach, right? So how is commitment and victim connected?
Okay. So, commitment is a big part in our methodology, because without the commitment, I allow myself to be, how can I say, diverted by whatever. Let's say I am on a diet, and a small croissant. What would be life if I don't eat one croissant? Is it life really worthwhile living if I cannot eat a croissant? Okay? Commitment helps you cut with your mind chatter. But there is more than that.
But can I become victim of commitment?
Absolutely.
Oh, tell me.
Most of the people take their commitment like an obligation.
So what's the
I have
difference?
to. For us, it's a huge difference.
But what is
Okay? So, commitment, there is a part that is the obligation. But if I decide that it is my choice to do it, let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Okay, I think with examples it's easier to understand. By the way, I just got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So,
you had a Zoom wedding, right? I got the message late. I was late in the wedding. So crazy. Okay. So yeah.
Okay. So I can say, now that I am married, I should not look for other girls. Yeah, I see people laughing. Yeah, it's not automatic. It's I may see I am a victim because I cannot anymore. Okay? Or I can say this relationship is really important for me. I don't want to spoil that relationship.
So that's commitment.
This is the spirit in which I do it. I am not a victim of my obligation. Okay? So commitment, there is obligation and in which spirit I do it.
Yes.
Which me is going to do it? The me victim
or
the me creator?
But how would I know? Maybe now it's like
Some moments I will be here, some moments I will be there. But each moment I remember that I have a choice.
That I could be victim or not.
And each moment I can say, okay, now you are victim, okay. Do you want to stay victim? You can stay victim.
But could it be like you got married and you should not look at other girls and...
No, look, you can.
Well, okay, and then you say you allow yourself.
And I am happy because she's not jealous.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's theoretically, okay? So could the logic be like this? So I got married, now I don't chase for other girls, not look only, chase for other girls, and then I say I allow myself to do it, but then not do it.
Yeah.
Like, is that what you mean?
The reason, it's a clarity. Would it help the relationship to do it? Then I do it.
I know, I mean...
I allow myself to do it. If I really think it is helping the relationship, why not?
So
this is being free, okay? But maybe in Arabic countries, it can help the relationship. In our countries, it does not.
No, what I meant is, what I meant is, could it be that, did I understand correctly, that commitment is when different from obligation is because I stopped, I allowed myself, and then
I chose.
I chose, yeah.
Exactly.
So that's commitment.
There is also a third part.
Okay.
Okay. So these are part one, obligation. Part two, how do I do it? As a gift, or in which me is doing it, the victim me or the creator me. And there is a third part. And there is a third part, very few people use it. But you and everybody listening to the video, we have a power of creation. There are things in your life that you decided and they happened.
Can you give me extreme examples? So like I decided to go and buy a cheeseburger, okay, that's happened.
No.
But
you wanted to do, I think you wanted to do, if I remember well, a publicity agency that was different from everything which was done. And you did. And you went to 300 people, 300 employees, okay? Then you decided to do films, and you did, okay? So every one of us has this power to create.
But do you have a connotation of something that is outside of your action of doing? Like, I decided to have an agency and I made Sarke, okay? So I decided to have a museum, I have a museum. Okay, but can I decide that I want to, can I decide somehow that, I guess that can happen as well. So can I decide that I want to live in a better country and suddenly country changes? Or can I even go farther and say some magical things?
So for me, it is magical.
It is magical.
It is
even if Sarka, even a simple thing is magical.
Absolutely. Let's say, and this really, I encourage everybody to start small.
Okay.
Okay. How you can start small? You want to park in the old city, and there are cars everywhere. You decide to create for yourself a parking space.
Okay, that's possible, you say.
You try. And if it does not work, you send me an email. I can put my email address.
You know what? I would go home, and in Georgia, in the elevator, you have to put the 10 Tetri coin. Have you had that experience? And so I go home and and I'm at the entrance. I have to go up 12 stories, and I say, "Oh, in my pocket."
I don't have change.
No, there is like change appear. but I tried that many times. It worked. But you know what works? What happens is, if the change appears there, for me it feels like it has always been there.
Maybe
that car. So what's the magic about it?
But try it on cars. Try it on different.
So after cars, what would be the next step?
Well, you want to meet a person you have not seen since a certain time, and your phone may ring, or.
But okay, let me understand this correctly. I'm really going to try. Start with the cars, because if somebody calls me, I'm going to be freaked out. As that. But so let's say I'm sitting in a car, cannot park.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've done that.
Yeah, I'm sure. We all have done it, but
But what is it that you do?
So
it's like I want a car.
I am stressing the point because we all have this power. If we decide, we can develop this power. It's like you go to the gym, and the more you do exercise, the more you develop. So if consciously you decide to use your power of creation, you will develop it.
Can I turn stone into bread?
I have never tried.
But
I don't know. I have never seen anyone do it. So I cannot say it's possible.
But that's a connotation of something as extreme because
I don't know.
You don't know. But cars and spaces and your life here works.
Yes, and your the money you earn and the quality of life and meeting nice people and
beating the cancer.
Whatever. It does not mean it works. Yeah. So we said obligation, which me is doing it, and use my magic wand.
So 3 parts.
Yes.
That's the third part.
Yes, the magic wand. But there is something indispensable. It's to let go of the result. Indispensable. Because I did not make the laws of the universe, but when you want something out of lack because you don't have it, you never get it. So,
can you explain that a little bit more?
I see a lot of people not having enough money that want more money. Okay? But the vibration is a vibration of scarcity.
Scarcity.
Yeah, scarcity, not having enough. So each time I say, okay, I am a creator, I want money, the vibration inside is not a vibration of abundance. It's a vibration of fear. Okay? So I get more of scarcity. So I have to sincerely let go of the result. Accept my situation. And when I accept my situation, I am not in scarcity anymore.
A girl just sitting before you, was saying, I mean, her language was completely different, of course, but her ideas, maybe her understanding of what she was saying was completely different, but was saying something similar to what you're saying.
Yeah,
she said try. She also said try. She said addressed other girls that you say, I am a woman every day. And she said, just try. Like you said, just try with the cars. Do you think her method makes sense?
I don't know how method.
Well, she said, every day say, I am a woman.
What is important is not what we say, but what we sincerely believe, where we come from.
And so you say, if I come from the need to get, why is that? But how do I know?
Because my vibration is not having.
But what is vibration? What do you mean?
Okay. I have the belief that we get what we want. You know the famous sentence, ask and you get?
Yes.
Ask and you get, I believe it is true. If I am afraid to not have, let's say I am afraid to not find the right person, or I am afraid to not be able to have sex. Okay? What I ask is this fear of. I am not asking a relationship. What I am with, what is my reality, is not having. So what I ask is my situation. I can say I want money, but what I vibrate is not money. I say vibrate, maybe it's not the right word.
Well, it's not a vibration, but, and you do it without, that's important though, you do it without expecting results, right?
It's very important, because if I want to take, it doesn't work. Let me tell you an adventure. When I was 18, I was in London. And it's a story of my little Swedish girl.
Before you got married.
I was 18 in London. I meet a beautiful Swedish girl. And I don't know about you, but when I was 18, my hormones were... I'm not saying it's not moving today, but really at 18 it was. So I meet this, and she was happy to give me the appointment, so I said, good, okay. So we go to the park and we start talking and walking, and I start coming closer, and she pushes me back. So I think it doesn't work. But in fact, I wanted to take her. It's not that I wanted the relationship. I didn't care about the relationship. I wanted something else. Okay? So I said, it does not work. Never mind, let's have a good time and let's talk. So we started talking. You know what happened? Slowly, slowly, she came towards me. So it's important to let go of the result. If you don't let go of the result, you don't give it a chance. It's same with the money, same with you look for a job. You let go of finding it and you get 3 offers.
So let's say I do this whole museum thing and I have to let go of why they did this, right?
You have to keep wanting it, but not out of fear of not succeeding.
That's a terrible fear.
Difficulty.
Very difficult.
Yeah. Because we are raised, we do something to get something. We don't, acts of generosity, we are not taught to do it. We have to learn to do them.
In my topic, it really explained my question about egoism and altruism, because this victim thing has changed the perspective. That's actually what I wouldn't say I was saying, but I clearly now see that. I was saying that egoism and altruism, they're misunderstood. Now I know why they are misunderstood, but because they are misunderstood because of being a victim. That's crazy.
I owe this to Leo.
Who's Leo?
Leo.
Are you comfortable to talk about Leo?
I think I never talked about Leo? Well, he was the wisest, really the wisest mentor I ever met. Wisest. He would give me experiments to do, a little like we talked. Once we shared, you can decide to try it and see if it works.
But what motivated you to try? Like, it's so hard, really, Semi. Now, I listen to you, but tomorrow I go out, I drive the car, and there is no parking lot, and like, will I really try it? It's so hard to believe to try.
Yeah. And one day you will try, and it will encourage you
to try even more.
To try even more. It's one step at a time. It's like you go to the gym. You come back from the gym, you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't have all these muscles. So I should stop the gym? No. You continue the gym if you want the muscles. Okay, after 6 months, you look, you start seeing a difference. But if you look each day, nothing changed.
What is your system of ego? What do you call ego?
Okay. I have a small story.
Your stories are great.
Okay. When I was born, life was a paradise. I want to eat, I cry. 2, 3 people come to feed me. I am dirty. Today, when I go to the toilet, I do it myself. But when I was a baby, I just cry and I am cleaned. Everything about me is marvelous. They look at me, I don't have hair, whatever. They look at me and say, oh, he's so beautiful, he's so cute, oh la la, I love him.
You're a baby.
Yes, yes. A few months later, I lose all of that. Don't put your fingers here, don't do that, behave. Then I need to earn to be loved. I need to earn to be appreciated. I have to be a good boy, a good girl. Okay? So I am not myself anymore. I need to prove to you that I am good.
Mm-hmm.
And to prove it,
I don't identify with that smaller version of myself. This is what you said. Like, what happens really there inside me? Because you don't love me anymore, what happens in me?
What happens is human beings, contrary to most animals, after a few days, the babies are independent, they can eat, they can walk. Human beings cannot walk. Even to turn, a baby needs to be helped. So if he is not cared, he will die. So we register, we record in ourselves that if we are not loved, we can be just dispensed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we need that love. Even when we are adult, we are ready to do a lot of things to be appreciated. Mm-hmm. With our friends, with our boss, we are ready to do a lot of things. And at the end of our life, we often regret of not having been enough true to ourselves and having done more than we wanted, what other people were expecting from us.
Because they didn't love me anymore.
So, because to be loved, to be appreciated, I need to appear a certain way. I need to look a certain way. Okay? So, I have the belief that as I am is not enough. One of the biggest fear people before the seminar is, what if I discover that I am not a good person? What if I see anxieties inside myself and I cannot close the box? But in 40 years it never happened. It's almost 40 years now.
Nobody opened such a box that they didn't like.
Each time you open, there is less inside. It is less heavy.
So that is ego, what you say, that in my childhood then I have to transform. Is that what you say?
Yeah. Yeah. It's how I am trying to trick people in someone I am not.
So ego is a victim. Like
ego is an actor.
Actor.
Yeah, he's hiding.
Yeah, but seems like a victim. The way you described victim, ego is like...
Yes, he's a victim of what other people think, what I think.
Even the mother in the first months, you don't do that. What becomes victim? Something becomes victim, even if we don't call it ego.
No, absolutely.
So that's a victim.
Absolutely. And this is how we learn to comply, and we enter in the mold, and we lose our joy. Look at children. Around the age of 7 or so, we say the age of reason. They become reasonable, and they lost most of their joy.
Lost the joy already by age 7, right? And on your seminar, I just, I don't know how many people are watching or how many people will watch this on YouTube when it's out there. But actually you do the seminars here and people can attend the seminars, right? And I know you're doing the online platform as well, but I just want to say there is a company here. If somebody wants, they can reach me and I'll get you, get them to contact you. But so on my journey to find out about altruism and egoism, when you gave me a clear parameter to evaluate about victimness, okay, but also that parameter gives, like, what is bad in egoism? What is the bad side? Like, what can happen to a person who becomes a victim, like, in a bigger sense, in a sense of society? That victim person, like, what role does it play in the society?
Okay.
Because wouldn't you say that the most of people are in a victim state? At least that's...
I remember after several years of seminars, I committed to be 5% of the time not victim.
Okay, yes.
And when I committed to Leo, 5% of the time seemed impossible. So it's true that we are most of the time victim. The question is why it's bad. I don't like what is bad, but I see what you mean. The problem is you make other people pay for it. If you would not make other people pay for it, you know, like my mother used to sacrifice herself. Okay? And she was thinking it was a good thing. She would put herself at the end. But her losing her joy was a big cost for us. So we always make other people pay when we are victim. Always.
Pay?
Yeah, there is a cost. There is also a cost for us, a big cost, because we don't live, we survive.
So let's say that scenario, I'm a victim of getting up and turning off the light, right? Yeah. And so,
so I get up, I turn off the light as a victim.
So how do so that's a cost to me, but what's the cost for her?
So I take my small notebook and I wrote, I did this for you. And I close. Then there's something else I do for you, and then one day you ask me something, and I burst. Look, I have done this, I have done that, I have done that. Okay? Or this thing allow me to do things that are not okay for the relationship.
So now I have a permission. It's like a pass.
I keep the accounting. So there is always a cost. There is one for me right away.
I wish everybody understood this as well as you do. I mean, my mind kind of knows this, but you know, one of the themes is like that is also connected to the theme now, because I asked people about the truth. I asked, should we? Because I have a more, it's not political, but it's a social or thing. I ask, like, should we have something like a right for the truth? I mean, should lie be punishable? And I don't know, should it be punishable or not, but I see it as a bad thing. And even when I get up and turn off the light and I put that note, that's a lie. But that's not the truth. I cannot turn and say, I don't want to turn off the light, and I lie. Do you connect it with that? I see that as root of many evil and pain.
I am not comfortable with evil. And,
okay, evil, not like evil like this, but I know, pain, like cost.
Yeah.
Okay, cost.
Cost.
Okay, cost. That's the best.
Absolutely.
Okay, so cost. Lie is always connected with the cost. So could you say?
Always?
I'm asking.
I'm not sure.
What kind of lies don't connect to costs?
Well, when Claire passed away, her mother was still alive. Not in good health, but still alive. I never told her that her daughter passed away.
So is there a justification for that?
I don't look at it from good and bad.
Okay.
You see? I look at things,
Cost,
am I creating the life I want, or am I being a victim of what is? It's a totally different value system.
But if you create your life at the cost of somebody else's life, that would
I don't believe it's possible. I really don't believe. In material things, there is a winner and a loser. But in human things, either win-win or lose-lose. When I switch off the light and I put in my notebook, it's a lose-lose. It's not a win-win, it's not a win-lose. I don't have one example in human relationships where there is a win-lose.
No?
If I lose, you lose.
If I win, you win. If I lose, you lose. Always.
Always.
There is no win-lose.
In 40 years, I have not one example.
So if I have a goal for somebody else to lose, I have a goal to lose myself. Okay,
we can take examples.
Give me.
I mean, well, when I was a child, to punish my parents, I would not eat. We would both feel bad. Or we can reverse. Give me an example in which you win and I lose.
Let's say I'm a company and we are competitors and I...
Yeah, material things. I agree. Material things, I win and lose. But relationships, human beings.
Okay, so let me give you an example. So you lie to me. Let's say I come to you and I ask you, how do I look? And there is a dirt on my hair. And I'm going on a meeting. And on that meeting, I know that if I look dirty, I'm not going to get a contract. And so you, out of...
Let's say I lie to you and I say you are fine.
Yes.
Okay?
And you win.
So you lose.
I lose.
Okay? How do you think I will be inside myself?
Don't care, for example?
I will know that I did wrong. I will know it.
But let's say you not telling Claire's mom about her death. Is it not so? Do you know?
It's what it's what I felt at that moment, really.
But because you felt it doesn't mean that it's right.
No.
So I'm saying, I want to challenge if I wanted to challenge the world.
You follow me in my example? It's like when you steal from someone, you know that you stole.
No,
you cannot be well.
Okay, so we went into this, there was two statements, claims. I completely believe that there is no way for me to win, you to lose, or you to win, me to lose. We either both lose, we either both win. That's for sure. Because even on that example, so it's impossible. That's clear. Now I'm saying, is a lie always a lie?
But before going there, this is important, for instance, in couples.
In what?
In couples,
Couples?
a lot of people have difficulties in couples. And they forget that. They forget that if they hurt the other person, they hurt themselves.
And
or if they don't care for the other person, in fact, they don't care for themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay? So,
that's not only in couples, that's among friends, among the whole society.
Absolutely.
That's great. So now I want to challenge my mind with the question, is a lie always a lose?
As someone else.
Okay. But at least now I understood what I'm looking for. So now that I know that I always lose if someone loses and I always win if someone wins.
It makes life simpler.
As well as truth does, you know. I feel that as much as you feel that I think, I know. Every time you lie, you are a victim. Because why else would you lie?
I don't know.
But you are a victim professional.
Theory, I don't know. We need to take examples.
So you don't feel you were a victim?
No.
No?
No.
That confuses me.
Yeah. Let's take a more difficult example.
Okay.
if the doctor that diagnosed Claire would have lied to her and said, your situation is not that bad, we would have never done what you have done, and she would not have lived 17 years.
Yeah.
Okay? So, in a way, it is, it was really crucial for us
to know the truth.
To know the truth. But I see many people who equate cancer and dying. And in Carl Simonton, that I mentioned before, experience, he believes that 60% of the people die from the diagnosis more than from the disease. Because cancer has such a bad connotation that people get depressed and they die.
But can that be an excuse not to tell a patient?
I give this example to say it's not so simple. Your question, you ask for a black and white answer, and I don't think there is.
But you do have a black and white answer about not being a victim.
Exactly. So if I have a white and black answer about not being a victim, I cannot have it for...
well,
I have to choose. Either have it for the lie or have it for...
Can it not be for both? Are they contradicting?
No.
You didn't have time to...
System.
Yeah, two different
It's two
systems.
different systems.
Okay. That's... So you're not saying...
Because
you're not saying having a black and white answer in anything is wrong. It's just that you don't have a black and white answer.
Yeah. And you see...
And you don't operate with that. You sometimes lie because of your not being a victim. While you're not being a victim, it's okay to lie.
Yeah. I cannot say it happens often.
Yeah, I know, but...
Yeah. In our seminars, a lot of people, when they come, they equate being in a creative state good and being a victim bad. And that's not what we say. No, they shouldn't.
Okay, can you explain that? Because, like, if somebody says word victim, I say it's bad, I don't want it, but you say you don't mean it. So then what do you mean?
Because it's a judgment.
Judgment.
Yeah. Good, bad is a judgment. You are, again, victim of the rules.
Rules of saying good and bad?
Yeah. It's not a creative life. This is good, this is bad, there is no creation. Creation is, I don't know what I will say. This is what you tell me each time. I know the direction I want to go, but I don't know what will be the next moment.
But do I know that if the direction I go to is good or bad? Like you got married. Did you get married expecting bad?
I don't know if the direction is good or bad. It is what I chose.
If I hit you with knife,
let's remain on our subject. Okay? If I know that this is good, this is bad, it's a second-hand life. It's not a creative life. The creative life is not knowing, and the answer appears.
But once the answer appears, do I know if it's good or bad?
It's not a problem. It's what you are creating. You taught me that in different words. Each time before a presentation, you tell me, I want something you have never said. you have never thought.
Yeah, that's...
So it's the same. What's the difference?
No,
so
it's a
you
new,
don't have to have a creative life.
No, I completely...
But if you want a creative life, you cannot have good and bad.
That link I cannot follow. I want to know, like I really want to not judge. I really like to not judge. I don't think I found strength in me not to judge. It's like, it's always about good and bad. If something is either good or bad, cannot...
Yeah, we are raised like that. We want to do the right thing. I see in the seminars people ask us, what is the solution?
But for me, it feels like being a victim is not good. Like,
It's
and if I say, so you say you choose to not be a victim without classifying it as good or bad, right? You choose it for what reason?
It's not what I want to live.
You don't want to live because it's bad, no?
No, it's the emotions that goes with being a victim. It's not what I want to experience. And I want to experience other emotions, and there are things I want to create.
Could it be that you want to experience, could the person want to experience a victim state?
I have an example for that.
Okay.
Just one. I don't have two. I have just one example.
Okay.
In the seminar, we have an exercise in which we commit about the quality of the experience we want to experience. It's an exercise. Mm-hmm. And we suggest to have emotions, to simplify because we have a different meaning, let's say positive emotions. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we had a participant, he said, I don't think I can create it. It's not me. Either I have good emotions or I don't. Mm-hmm. So I told him, can you commit to have negative ones? He said, okay. And he committed. After 2 hours, he asked to talk again. He said, I'm succeeding very well. So if I am succeeding with the negative ones, maybe I can succeed with the positive ones. I want to commit. And the guy, he was a psychiatrist, and he became the president of our non-profit for 7 years. Yeah. So why not? You can commit to be a victim. And he was succeeding in it.
It's weird.
No, I mean, I am really suggesting to experiment.
No, I want to experiment how not to see as good and bad. I really...
It's a decision. It's a commitment. You asked me to talk about commitments.
Yes.
So you commit to not indulge in the judgment. So the judgment comes. You are tempted to say this is good, this is bad. Is this creating the life I want? It's a different question. It is. Okay? So the good, bad will be moving here, but you commit to not give it space. Mm-hmm. You concentrate. Is doing this will help me create the life I want? No, I don't do it. Yes, I do it. And slowly you will see the habit change from good and bad to creating the life I want. If this is what you want. It's really simple. But it takes to do it.
დიდი ხანია ხო ვართ ეთერში? Huh? No, I just asked how much time has passed because I got dived into, forgot about time. I think let's talk about 10 minutes more.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to talk more. But you have to go as well. You fly
because
tonight.
Because of the curfew, we can.
Because of the curfew, yeah.
What time is it?
It's 8. It's almost 8.
Okay.
And then you have to be safe on that side, and also I have to continue with the show. Wow. You know, if I had the power to somehow spread your ideas around in Tbilisi, I would definitely push the button. Because I don't know about the rest of I've grown here. I've been and traveled everywhere, but when you go there, it's all romantic. When you live in a place, now I see that here, what makes me uncomfortable, what I think is bad, I haven't committed yet.
No.
What I think is bad is that I'm locked down, you have to go, I cannot move out of the space after 9 and stuff like that. I think that that's the same same around the world. And when I say maybe in Georgia, maybe it's the same for the world, but here we have this good chance of, because we're small, like a more commune, if we understood what you said about not being a victim, I think it would like really change this country.
I really would like that.
Is this why you're here?
I really would like that. I really would like that. And I cannot do it. We have to do it together. But I really would love that. And I would like to go global after that.
What does together mean?
People who have the same feeling you expressed, that believe it's possible or don't believe it's possible, but they are ready to do the journey anyway. What I said, letting go of the result. But spread the philosophy, help people getting it, help people experience it.
Like, look at this. I have set up all these cameras. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, it was like one morning I got up, I said, this is bad. And I don't know if I created this as my life. I like it. I'm not saying, but and I'm not even sure if I am creating my life. And people around us in Tbilisi,
it's very hard times. Very, very hard times, and I don't know how it will shift. I still have a lot of hope.
But you cannot say the formula. If, like, I set up all these cameras, I don't know how many people are watching, but it's like when I ask you, together, what does it mean? I know that I want these people to join me in understanding that. I'm not saying anything, I'm just listening to various people. And you know, like, if you think about marketing, who's gonna watch 10 hours of all these every Saturday and Sunday? But if they did, if they understood what you're saying, because many people come here with variations, but if they understood this very little thing, that we as a country have been a victim, like only small part, rest of it, we position ourselves in a state of victim and we choose to be a victim. We never stop and never say, I allow myself not to be a victim anymore. And this country can do something.
I really believe so.
But in togetherness, I look at these cameras and then I think, like, how do I do something with you together? You're on your own, you come do the seminars, like, nobody really cares. Like participants, they attend, they take it for them. Like, how do you make it so that like really everybody understands what you say? Like, what can I do? Like, I set up these cameras. Like, what can I do? I really want people not to be victims. What can I do? How to reach those 80,000 people so that they really listen and experiment with the car? You don't know, right?
And it's good that I don't know.
Why?
Because if I knew, I would do it alone, and I would be alone.
So it wouldn't be together.
I have no choice, and I love it.
So that's what together means. When you don't know and you search for something together, that's what together means?
I understood this also from Leo. One day I asked him, why there are so many divorces?
Divorce?
Yeah, one couple out of 2 divorce, and those who don't divorce, it's not that they are always happy.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me the tendency of people when they get married is to close one on the other. They become one and they isolate themselves. It's their couple.
Mm-hmm.
So they become close to
the rest of the world.
Yes. It's not together anymore. It's you, me, my children. My car also. Okay? So the divorce opens them to other people.
And that's what they lack, and they don't have anything against each other, but they divorce because they want the world back. Oh.
They don't, they sclerose, they sclerose.
Forget?
No, they become...
freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the rest of the... So
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Semi. Is there anything that you would tell Georgian people? Like, you know Georgia so well now, and you have seen Georgian people with you have seen Georgian people more than Georgian people have seen, because you have been on seminars and people have opened up in front of you and they have told their stories. You know Georgians more than anyone. What do we need? Oh, don't say that. I want something specific.
I don't know. I don't know, because it's really a question of personal decision. Any person can decide to create his or her life. And any person can not decide to create his or her life. It's in the hands of each one.
Can it be that I don't know that I can do that? I miss my life?
Georgian has an advantage on French people.
What is it?
Yeah. Do you know why French people don't succeed to commit suicide with a gun?
No.
Because when they shoot, they put the gun here, because they think their brain is so big that they put the gun here. Okay? When you know, you cannot learn. And I met a lot of people in Georgia that are open to learn. And this is...
More than elsewhere?
It's very different. Each country is very different. Human beings are the same, but the culture is different.
And so we are eager to learn in a special way, or not?
Yeah, there is humility, eager to learn, open to hear. It's
So we stand a chance.
A huge one. And I spoke with one of your politicians that told me we had 4 wars in 20 years.
4 wars.
So it's not in our DNA to be depressed and a victim. If we do something quickly, we can shift the mindset. And I cannot forget that.
We shouldn't be a victim. We shouldn't. No, neither Georgians nor the world, because now the world is a victim.
Yeah.
Of corona, of governments, of everything. Of hate, of everything. I judged, but we are victims now, and I guess I don't want to be a victim. I opened the museum. Here you told that, and everybody can really choose not to be that. I even understood it more correctly now after all those relationships with you. When is your book coming out?
It's the last chapter that I am stuck, the last part.
I have to read all the rest of them and then help you get unstuck.
Thank you.
But I couldn't find that
strength
to do it. I'll commit to that.
Yeah.
I'll commit to. I commit now that I'll commit to. Why is it? I commit once, not twice. That I'll try not to judge good and bad.
So do it like this. Either you give yourself just 1 week, and then you decide, or if 1 week is too difficult, you can put the alarm clock, and from 10 to 12.
Oh no, it's going to be easy. I start now. So no more good and bad for 1 week.
For 1 week. And then we discuss.
But that's about everything. Even about taste of the water.
Yeah. Anything. Drinking, is it good to drink? Some people say it's good to drink. Am I creating the life I want when I drink?
Instead of saying it's good to drink.
Yeah.
Thank you.